Hey everybody, this is Luke Falk here with Shelbyville Now. I'm joined by Jeff and Dan. We want to start by thanking our sponsors tonight. Sanders Plumbing, and I did not know that plumbers used WD-40, but apparently they do.
Yes, sir.
First Bank and Little Eagles Nest Preschool, amateur hour over here with the volume up.
I didn't know it was live or not. I guess we're
we're live tonight. And Dan, I believe you've got our topic for tonight. You want to throw that out there, I believe.
Well, we were looking at having a topic today, and nobody gave us any suggestions. So my suggestion was we brag on our educators here in Bedford County and maybe talk about our favorite teachers.
So
have we ever had some of the being a school board representative, and maybe
are you running for re-election already?
It's just around the corner. But what I was thinking is maybe in these 70s and 80s and the Huskies and all that. I'm sure there's a few teacher maybe paddling stories out there.
I think we should split it up like the elementary and middle school kind of lumped together in high school. I think they're totally separate.
Yeah.
As far as kind of teachers you have.
Porter's watching. He's going to stay tuned tonight. I'm back in purple. He turned us off the other night when I went crimson.
Dano, a memorable teacher.
All right.
Or one or two, whatever. We'll start with the memorable teacher from your elementary, middle school years. And you were two different schools.
I was, and I think the most memorable teacher I ever had in those years would have been first grade at Southside, Miss Massingale. And boy, she was a disciplinarian, to say it nicely. And my.
Did you need discipline?
Oh, mercy. She wore us out. And I'm not going to call his name, but just to show you how crazy times have changed, we had a field trip one day. We walked from Southside, the class, the entire first grade class, 6 years old. We walked the sidewalk to the library on the square from Southside Elementary School.
That's a pretty good hike.
Did they put bicycle helmets on you?
No,
reflector vest.
Oh, boy.
And you know what the treat was? You stopped at CB Food Store on the way back and got a popsicle.
Yes, sir.
I mean, how big a day was that?
Hey, if you could get a popsicle.
And where was that at? Where would that have been at?
CB Food Store? Right. Man, we got a young.
Well, I'm asking. I want to know.
Close to the Magnolia Hotel, across from Landry's, right in that area.
Okay.
So
David Brown's.
Okay.
Right there at one time.
Well, that's where CB went. So when we come back, well, me and another classmate.
So you had to cross the road.
Yes.
To get over there with you.
Yeah, well, I didn't bring
You had to cross the road over there.
We did. And the whole class, I can still see the class leaned up against the wall in the parking lot as the teachers went in and got popsicles, the cheap ones. But we didn't care.
The little plastic.
And handed them to us, and we got to eat a popsicle. But the thing I remember the most is me and a friend of mine decided that we were going to race back from the library to Southside Elementary. So can you imagine, I mean, today, how much trouble. So me and this other
I don't know how big this dude was, but I'm putting money on him. If you're talking about a foot race.
No. I don't mean we just took off sprinting. I just mean that we like paced ourselves to try to get there first.
Yeah, imagine this. I didn't think you were talking about
you didn't
sprinting.
think I was at Carl Lewis or nothing.
No,
So once we get back to the school, we think it's funny. We're probably 4 or 5 minutes ahead of them.
Yeah.
And we go back and we're sitting in our class, and Miss Massey, the class, walks in. Everybody sits down, and she asked me and this young man if we would stand back up. And she proceeded to bring a paddle about that size, grab us both by right in the earlobe area, and wore us out right there. And there wasn't no witnesses. There wasn't no, let's fill out a form. Let's call mom and daddy. By the way, because back then when you got a whipping, you didn't tell mom and daddy.
Because then you didn't do another one.
No, you didn't tell anybody. But Miss Massengale, she stuck in my mind.
You know what I love about
as being a disciplinarian. But I mean, here I am, 41 years old, and I still remember.
They didn't chase after you.
No,
but they let you go. Like, okay,
they had this look right here.
Like I love that. Like, I'm not running after them,
they
but
didn't call the cops.
But I tell you,
I've been getting down there.
When I get back here at my own pace, I'm gonna wear his tail.
I promise you. That was how. Hey, did you believe this or not? You got taken to the principal's office and got 3 licks if you didn't do your homework.
Yeah.
That was that discipline.
Well,
And you know,
Yeah.
you didn't do your homework. Go see Mr. McBride. Go in there, Mr. McBride. What are you doing here? I didn't do my homework. Oh, didn't want to do your homework.
Yeah.
Grab off that chair right there.
See if you do it tomorrow, man.
Oh, and look,
See
I
what
think I
tomorrow
turned out all right.
Hey, I went to elementary. First 4 years, I went to Madison. I didn't need kindergarten.
No.
Kindergarten didn't need me. And we went first 4 years of Madison. Great school, buddy. Big, big school, big windows, big cafeteria, big everything. And
I mean, still looks good.
hey,
So it's
my
really nice
fourth grade
looking.
teacher let me and another young man walk down to what is now the Big K Shopping Center and pick up her dry cleaner. Honestly, that's a true story if I ever told it.
What
Pick
grade?
up her fourth grade. We walked down. I mean, I can still see us going around down. I mean, it's
The
pretty
Big
good.
K?
Hey, we'd cut right across at the post office, go straight across that street, go in there. We need that dry cleaner, get it, go back
That's
to Madison.
And nobody questioned
Yeah.
you at all.
I mean,
Two fourth graders walking with dry cleaners.
Hey, I thought it was good. Now, my parents, I guarantee they don't know that to this day. They'd probably freak
Well,
out.
it's still know now because your mama watches.
If she
her
watches,
show. Well,
she
she usually
watches.
does.
Yeah.
I
Well,
had-
that's true.
I had one of them's actually a group of teachers, but my first memorable teacher was my kindergarten teacher, Miss Philpott, and she was I had her
Where'd you
name
go?
Cascade because Zach went there to play football,
That's right.
so I went there through sixth grade. Well, and she was in her maybe last year or maybe it was her second to last year teaching. She was an elderly lady at the time, and I had a seizure. Landed me in Vanderbilt when I was in
Really?
kindergarten.
Nice.
And she drove, her and her husband, who, like I said, were up in age at the time, drove all the way to Nashville just to probably spend 15 minutes and no more. And then that always stuck out in my mind. She was just a sweet lady, and we were pretty good for her. You didn't want to be mean to her.
See,
It was
that's
like a grand,
probably.
it was like a
And
grandma.
the stories meant different.
But the
There's gonna
other,
be a lot of
the
similarities.
other group, and it's actually Rob Gardner's wife. My fifth grade year,
How do I get you sponsored?
That's
yeah.
good. That's
I
good.
had
Name
Miss Gardner,
Name drop. That's good.
Michelle Simpson, Miss Anderson. I think it's swapped from brothers to Anderson. Miss Syntec and Cherry Blackwell.
Yes, sir.
I had all five of them. We swapped.
They got that many.
We had those were our fifth grade teachers.
Miss
And
Anderson's now,
We had each teacher taught a different class, so we rotated like high school every period, and so we got to be with each of them during the day. But Miss Michelle had me beside her desk, not because I was causing trouble, but because we talked. Me and her talked so much.
But don't you think
We
it's started?
talked about
Always
baseball.
had
Hey,
that same-
hey,
Same reason.
we talked about baseball, and her kids playing baseball
Wow.
almost the whole class.
I think what happened though, I think they started switching on in classes and stuff because the kids got dumber. I mean, we
We just had one
We just
teacher.
had one teacher,
One
and we
focus.
got it all. We
Focus.
learned it all and
We
stayed
did.
focused, and that was good.
That's how it worked.
And then my fifth grade year, I moved over to East Side. And now this, you talking about homework a while ago, and this was the rule at East Side at the time. They couldn't assign homework.
Really?
I thought this is
So everybody wants to go to East
you're
Side.
telling me that I could have done this the first 4 years, but no, we had no homework.
Who was the principal?
Mr. Holder.
Really?
Mr. Holder was,
And that was the rule of the school.
the rule of the school, no homework. And I thought this is the best rule that I've ever heard. So what I did, I carried that on through high school.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm sticking with
Back at
this.
East Side, we didn't do
homework, and I think it worked well.
Who was the principal you had at Madison Street? You talk about all the time.
Oh, Joe Ingram, and he would, like if we were in assembly, he would wear those hard sole shoes,
Right.
and he would take that paddle and he would slap it against those hard sole shoes,
Right.
and it would ring out, man, and it was just instant quiet.
It's megaphone and key ring.
He had a big megaphone in one hand, and he had that big key ring. You know, you could pull it out. I always thought, boy, if I ever make it, I'm gonna have me one of these chains with the keys on it.
Hey, and speaking of bus drivers, my kids would not. Your bus driver would pull that bus over and wear you out.
Hey,
And again, you didn't tell nobody.
and I'm not gonna mention my bus driver's name, but it was Bus 45, and she was going down the road one
Did
day.
David ride the bus?
No.
Yeah, he did. It was a Mercedes.
Mercedes.
It was a stretch Mercedes.
Not the one you was on.
Not the yellow one.
Bus
No,
40.
yeah.
It was bus 40.
Oh, I'll guarantee you.
Mr. Wilson Green.
I know, yeah. I know,
You
but-
tell the story. Let's go.
All right. We going around Fair Oak Street. You don't know where it's at. I told one on the other side of town.
Around the opposite area.
She hit a German Shepherd, and we yelled out "dog killer," and she stood us on her head, man, stopping the bus, and was crying. You know I didn't mean to hit that dog. I was like, we know no such thing. You hit the dog.
All right.
So yeah, she didn't mind being called dog killer. I'll tell you that.
I bet she did.
And then I went to middle school at the old Harris.
Yeah.
And that was another great school because you couldn't tear anything up. It's already tore up. I mean, there wasn't no tearing nothing up. It was already there.
There wasn't even water fountains. There was a place where water
That's
fountains.
right. Hey, just to,
See the outline?
you know, yeah, you can see where it painted.
They painted around.
You know what I'm saying?
What about the 8-track tape on the? Which bus was that?
Oh, that was
Where you did the
45.
fundraiser?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
We fundraised at
They had a
Christmas
fundraiser for an
to buy an
8-track.
8-track player. I can still.
And who did you request?
Hey, well, you wasn't no request. We just had one tape, and every day it went from Devil went down to Georgia, and it would click, and then. Have you heard about the Lonesome Loser?
Really?
I'm beaten by the Queen of Hearts every
And-
night. I can remember, boy.
And to this day,
Yes,
when he
sir.
hears Devil Went Down to Georgia, when it ends,
Yes,
he
sir.
immediately
Yes, sir,
sings.
buddy.
He immediately starts singing the other.
Hey, when you write it every day,
Yeah.
every day, that's what you
Right.
get. Buddy.
Who was your elementary principal?
My elementary principal was Ralph McBride,
Mhm.
and he was an old Navy man.
Yeah, boy.
He drove a Chevette, so you would like
Oh, I
him
love
a
it.
man.
He's a smart man.
He drove a Chevette, but man, I can't tell you the number of times he whipped me. I mean, I don't. It's because no homework got it. You had a choice to do write-offs or go see him. A lot of times I was forced to see him, and but you know, I've got a picture that was in the Shelbyville Times-Gazette. You would play at Southside by that big bus. Well, I wasn't waiting on no ride. I lived behind. I
Yeah.
walked down to Charlotte Drive where I live. So you played kickball and all that. And Ralph McBride would sit out there and put his foot up on that concrete wall and watch the kids till everybody was gone. And one day I walked up and I sat on his knee where he had his foot up there. And the Times-Gazette took the picture. And I'm sitting there talking to Ralph McBride. And you'd think, many times that man beat me, I wouldn't talk to him. I thought the world of him. And I promise you it was discipline. It
And
was
who'd you have at community?
oh, man. It was every
Or
month.
were you in?
I went in the 4th grade. I went to Southside K through 3,
Okay.
and then my parents, and that's a whole nother.
Yeah, we're not,
We got
we're
another
not
shelter.
trying to get
And
into that.
then I went to live with my grandparents, and I lived with them. And I started community in 4th grade, and all the way till I graduated. But we started out with Don Boyd, and then it went Ed Gray, Mike Landis. I think that's how it went.
That's some pretty.
That was the story I had.
I had Miss Edwards at Cascade,
Right.
and you
And
did
she ran a
not.
tight ship.
She ran a tight
but it was a good
ship.
ship. But she ran a tight
You
ship.
did not want to mess with her.
Yeah, Ralph, he bought. I mean,
Hey, I guarantee.
Oh,
Friends were out, but we've seen
and
it.
I never had the pleasure of going to her office, but a buddy of mine
man,
did.
see, I mean,
And I know a buddy of mine did, and I said, so what happened?
Apple don't fall far from the tree, bud.
Chip off
I
the old
said, so what happened? And he said, well, she's got this little glass apple on her desk, and she asked you to read what's written engraved inside there. And when you bend over to look, she wears your tail out, and you don't know it's
Ooh.
coming.
Boy, that ain't good right there. I don't even know when it's
Man.
coming then.
Now the worst, Miss Massengale, no doubt was my elementary. Middle school, high school would have been Vicki Lamb. I still think she's the greatest teacher. She was just, man, a math teacher, real disciplined, never caused trouble in there. She, it's amazing. Some of those teachers, you tried them, but there were some of them you didn't. I don't care how much talker you are.
Reputation.
But I promise you this much. The worst whipping you'll ever get. And I mean everything. And I've heard butt cooks and all. I've heard all that, and they might be good. But Jimmy Crick was about as good as anybody. I mean, that dude brought tears to a grown man's eye. Oh, you got it. Jimmy Crick's nothing, baby.
Biff Fair.
Biff's he's a big man.
Biff Fair. We were in history class.
He said it ain't close.
Oh my gosh, history class, and for some reason, the people that designed, must have been run on them, a sale on them or something. We bought all of them. Had them little black plastic thing caps in the back of them that you could take out and throw.
Yeah.
We'd take them out and spit down in that rail, and about by the second 6 weeks, she'd run out on that carpet. But this day, he goes out of the room, and he had a big framed picture of the United States map up on, and we're slinging those things back and forth, and one of them hits that and it breaks the glass. So we were going to be smart and not tell anybody. We gather up all the glass and we go to throw it away. And about the third day after that, he's teaching and he looks up and he sees that glass gone. And nobody ratted on anybody.
Right.
And which means that's a good theory until you start getting whipped. Everybody. And he's like that picture that just kept getting stronger. You get about number 23, he's still wearing that butt out, boys. But he was, oh my goodness, he could swing.
What about Ed Carson?
Let me tell you something.
Jack Vincent said Jimmy Crick brought the fire. He said he cured me from being tardy.
Well, I'll tell you this, Ed Carson, when we were at the old Harris Middle School, there were 3 portables, and these were them old portables. You know, like asbestos portables. We don't have
Nice.
Nice. These are the asbestos portables. And we had a new teacher that taught English in one of them. And she was a teacher that you run over. And I wish we hadn't treated her as bad as we did, but we did. And one day it was
Y'all might have cried, didn't you?
We might have cried. We threw a snowball. She was up there writing on the board, and it was like 2 or 3 snowballs hit right beside her. And then we thought it'd be a good idea.
It's terrible.
I know, it was awful. And then we thought it'd be a good idea to rock that portable back and forth. And we got her kind of
This is why the woman's in there trying to take.
Yes.
Okay.
And what we didn't know was, what we didn't think about was Ed Carson was in that middle. Miss Phillips, she was old and didn't take no nonsense. Ed Carson and then this nice teacher. And he was at the door looking in.
The whole time this was going on.
The whole time it's going on. And I thought it was going to be one of them deals where he just talked to us about respect, and it was. Right up till the time he pulled the old paddle out. Ed Carson could whip you.
Now,
I promise.
Can you imagine if Jeff Falk gets a call from school?
Right.
Lucas is throwing a snowball
I don't mind.
at this teacher. Can you imagine?
That's not fair to even say such.
Can you imagine?
I mean, and this is a great part about parenting. You learn as you go, but that's not really the way. I'll say this: I think that teacher got out of teaching and went on into some other profession just right after we left there. So it's
Surely not. Surely not.
And then high school, man, high school was just a blast. I don't understand anybody not like
I really
really
the
don't.
same way. I love
I had Bill Petcavish for middle school principal.
And let me tell you something. That guy ran a good school
And-
too. I promise you.
To this day, if we see each other, just a mutual respect. If we see each other,
But Don Embry would have been your principal in high school.
he was my principal in high school, and I think
He was my son's principal at Aiken.
Yeah.
And
a couple to high school. I got to have Miss Ritt, which was pretty cool because you got to have Miss Ritt,
Yep.
and I was her last honors geometry class. We were her last class.
You were in honor.
You made me take honors
I
and
know.
everything.
Where's
Wow. The problem
but-
with Miss Ritt, she could hear.
She could
from
no,
across,
she couldn't.
and we'd be talking, about our Bible studies and stuff.
Yes.
And then, hey, she called me out, and she lived right beside my grandmother.
See,
Next
that
door.
gotta do. And the dirtiest thing they did to me at community, dirty boy. Miss Lamb, Miss Carl, all that. You know what they would do?
Call you granddad?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
call
got
granddad.
fed up. They knew that. They knew 3 licks was the next step.
Uh-uh.
And I got a lot of them. But boy, when they was fed up, I'd be at home sitting there eating and that old phone on the wall.
Oh.
No caller ID.
Oh, boy.
And one time, Miss Martin called and I said, hello. She said, hey, Dan, this is Miss Martin.
Oh.
Is Miss Leela there? No.
No.
I haven't seen her.
No. We've been looking for ourselves. I'll tell you. Matter of fact, I got to go look for her right now. Thank you.
There was no getting out of it. I handed that receiver
Oh,
to my
no.
grandmother. Man,
And you know when they're looking at you while they're on the phone the whole time.
But I'm telling you right now, here's the difference. It was like in Little League, in football, in classroom, you came home with a D, it was your fault. It wasn't that teacher's fault. It wasn't that principal's fault.
Yeah.
It was your fault.
Yes, sir.
And if you dared started blaming the teacher. That got you whipped worse. I mean, now the kid don't play, the coach is ignorant. No, what are you doing wrong in practice, son?
Yeah.
You ain't no better than that. Just help me.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I was talking.
Yeah.
I got work
We got
for you.
work
We got
to do
stuff
out here
I
on the
can
farm.
Or go to Shelbyville and watch you sit up there on that green bench, that park complex. So you just got better at it.
Oh,
But my high school, I'm like you, man. I think it was the most fun time.
Oh, I promise
I
you.
loved every bit of it. And Union was in that overcrowded stage in '95. We were the biggest class to ever graduate. We graduated at First Baptist Church because we couldn't do the old gym anymore. And I was a senior, so you don't live by everybody else's rules.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
that fifth period study hall, I was easing on out and going down to community cash market, getting me a meat 3 or 4, and I went down there, getting a big sweet tea and kick back. And one time that old chair beside me slid out. I just thought it was some farmer from Union. I slid over and I recognized him. Them britches and
Yeah.
Jimmy Crick sat down beside me.
You gotta love that, boys. I'm telling you.
Hey, you know what I told him? Eat your food and let's don't be down here tomorrow. And I didn't. But I mean, that's just how Union was, and I loved it. And these people that I can't wait to get out of here. It just okay.
I think it's crazy.
Okay.
Man. I had Miss Nelson for junior and senior English. Boy, that was good. She was a fun teacher to have. We used to skip every day and go to Sonic because that's the closest thing, to
So
high
we're
school.
Union, but we didn't.
So,
You had a meeting 3.
Well,
That's all.
yeah. Well, we had a meeting in French fries, and then we sat there, and there's always 2 or 3 that go. You don't go by yourself.
Right.
And there, you know how you stacked in there at the Sonic, and his car pulled out, and we looked over, and there's Mr. Mike Bone.
Oh.
Second car over. Let me tell you something. If you think that man didn't run a tight ship,
Boy,
Now,
you better
and
believe it.
I wasn't with you, but Devin said you saw him the other day, and she said after he left, you're still scared of him, like a fearful respect. And he
Absolutely.
I guarantee.
When Mike Bone speaks to this day,
you didn't even go.
I know, but see, I'm kin to that bunch.
Okay.
I always knew him, but my wife graduated under my oldest brother. He's a Central graduate, and I could still see him at graduation.
Oh, yes, sir.
I mean, how many Eagles are there down there? There's 200, 150, 160, whatever it is, and there ain't a word, buddy.
No.
And that dude would lift. I've never seen nobody could run it like he did. And just by standing up, you hushed. And Mike Bone had it. Now, I don't think Chad has the same.
No, I don't.
He's got to be, and I don't know that I've ever met Mr. Bone, but he has to be, as far as Bedford County goes, the most memorable educator because everybody that you talk to about him has the same.
He coached at Union and beat Shelbyville twice, and then he went to Shelbyville and coached.
Really?
And he was our coach when they opened the new gym. And
Boys basketball?
he coached both.
Both.
He coached both.
Jerry Clardy told me he used to make him during the game. He would clear out people out of the bleachers, make him run up and down the bleachers while the game was going on.
He did something crazy. Mr. Crick told me this. He said he did something crazy. And the amazing thing is Mike's only Mr. Bone. I'm sorry. Mr. Bone
There you go.
is only 3 or 4 years older than the seniors at this point.
Really?
Yeah, he just graduated to get this job, but they said he did something wild and different, and it didn't work out very well, but he wanted to practice after school. Well, all these farm boys had to go home.
Yeah.
They couldn't practice after school. And that's something wild he was trying. And Mr. Crick told me, he said, if it would have been the rule, if you miss practice, you don't play. He said, I've never got to play. And that's amazing. Times have changed.
We
Now-
did a few. We had a few stunts that we pulled in
Now-
high school. One night we got the idea that we didn't get the idea. We did it right there in the front, right in front of the office. We went up there and we spray painted on the windows, Senior 82.
Right.
We weren't even smart enough to put somebody else's class on there. So you know how you get to school the next morning and you bragging to all the people that sitting out in the parking lot. So we're going over there, a big group of us. We walk around the corner to look at it.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice. Gone. Not a speck of paint on the windows. And I didn't know what the heck happened. And one of the boys that was with us got scared during the middle of the night, called Mr. Bone at home. I'm talking about 2 or 3 in the morning. Told him what we had done. And he said, I'll tell you what, if you can get up there before I do in the morning and it's gone, I'll never say a word about it.
And that boy went up
And that boy went up
Boy,
there.
he's a man now.
Went up there and cleaned
That's
it
the
off.
fear of Mike Bone.
And
If
you know
can
what?
get there before I
I
do.
never heard a word about it.
Wow.
What about the pep rally?
About the pep rally.
The tug of war.
We did tug of war, and our class, our seniors, were getting beat, and a bunch of us jumped out of the stands and went and helped them pull.
Right.
And he wasn't real thrilled about that. He was gonna cancel all the activities, so we got in line and straightened up. And that Friday at the pep rally, he had that rope out there on the gym floor, and he said, "Okay, all you people that come out here that jumped in this the other day, y'all come out here. We're gonna have a pull." So we all get out there and we're ready, and he done hooked the rope in the middle. So everybody pulled and everybody falls down, and that's
Just like hey, I'm better than you. I got you.
yeah, and that's you didn't want
Uh,
still won't mess
Mr.
with him.
Mr. Peckhurst did. He had this. All these guys would stand out in the hallway between classes, and they'd wait till after the bell rung, go to class, and they always leaned up against their lockers. And he asked them every day, get to class on time, get to class on time, get to class on time. Well, one day he just went out there and stood with them, and didn't say a word, just stood there with him, propped his foot up, and gets bell rings, and it's 2 or 3 minutes after the bell, and finally one of them says, "Miss Peckhurst, what are you doing out here?" "Well, looks like y'all just have such a big time, you can't not do this. That's what all the fuss was about." And they never did it again. They never. He didn't have to put, just.
That worked with me too. That kind of stuff. Listen, I'll never forgive Bo Walker. I'm sorry, Bo just clicked on, and me and Bo got in enough trouble, and I can't tell Bo all the Bo stories. But Sean, Big Sean,
Big Show.
the rule was 3 tardies. That's what got Jack. 3 tardies, and you got an hour after school. Anytime you got
Was this high school? Okay.
Well, if you got 3 tardies, you get an hour after school, you go up there and you sign up what day. Well, Mr. Crick would give you the option. When it come time at 3 o'clock, you go in the gym or library, wherever it was. All right, boys, 3 licks, you're out of here. So I'm sitting over there on that couch in the library, and he goes, 3 licks, you're out of here. And I acted like I didn't hear it. I'm good.
Hey,
So Sean, Big Sean, stands up and says, "I'll take 3.
oh no.
So
no.
then he turns around and looks at me and says, "You gonna sit in here, blah, blah. I can't say all the words you said to me. You gonna stay in here. I'm gonna be
Quoting
gone.
scripture.
Can't believe you won't." I said, "I tell you what, big boy, if you taking 3, I'm taking 3." So we marched down there, and Roger Eastlick had made him a brand new fiberglass paddle with a wood handle on it.
God.
And Mr. Crick said, "Boys, I've been wanting to try this out."
Mm.
Now Sean and mine are ends.
Oh, yeah.
So he ain't missing.
You ain't
He
missing, I guarantee you.
He hits us with that thing. I promise you. I went first and was out in the hall sitting on the. I was sitting on the, just leaned up against the wall because I'm dying, and I'm hearing Sean in there going, "Come on!" And so I'll never forgive Sean. 50 more minutes, I was out of there. But now you can't. Can you?
I always loved after a kid got a paddle note, they come back
after
to class.
kid, not this kid.
No, I never did. But after one of them got a whipping, and they come back to class and
trying to be tough.
they try to look like they crying so bad.
Porter
You can just see tears slowly rolling down. Oh my God.
Porter Harmson says that Mr. Hornaday, and he is absolutely right. I never got one from Mr. Hornaday because I'm telling you, that man put the feeling in me. But he might have been the best math teacher I ever had besides Miss Ritt. It was.
We was sitting in Mr. Gray's office one time. We're thinking, okay, Mr. Ed's gonna whip us. I'm in. If this is what it's gonna take, by the time he decided to whip us, he said, "Hey, let's go on over here. We walked 2 steps. Guess whose office we're in? Jimmy Crick." Whoa!
That wasn't the deal.
Hey.
That wasn't the deal.
Hey, I'll tell you, and I worked right after school, my whole high school. So if you got detention, you could take your licks instead of going to detention hall and go. And I didn't have no choice because I had to go to work.
Right.
And you could get detention.
You could call in late though.
No, not at Shelbyville.
Oh,
I was running that show, man. I was running the lead department. Bubba Rose. That dude could swing one. He was a golfer,
Dan
man. So,
Reese's, man, Bo. Well, there should be a show on Dan and Bo. I mean, I'm telling you, we caused a lot of. But I want to say this to you. As silly as we were, never would we disrespect teachers. Did we? You know what I mean? We were not that guy. Most teachers liked us. It's just, here was my number one problem. Dan, shut up. And I couldn't. And two of the three of my children could. There's one that couldn't, and that was my oldest. And she's a female version of Dan Reed.
Oh my God.
The only thing I ever got in trouble for was talking. That's the only thing, excessive talking. And
excessive.
Except that was always my check mark on that was always my check mark on. But I made a case with the teacher that she was just very quiet and not very talkative. That's why she thought that I talked too much. It did not go over well.
No, that's probably not the best thing. Let's hit these sponsors again on this fine
Sanders Plumbing, First Bank, and Little Eagles Nest.
Here, you want to hold that, Jeff?
Hey,
look at that. Nice.
In case your WD-40 needs cooling off, look at here, boys. And I think Jason Sanders uses that a lot.
I'd say.
Look at that. Boy,
Oh,
that's a
wow.
nice koozie right there.
Bubba D said Steve Slager gave him a lick for Key Club initiation.
Well, that's a different
The
show.
paddle was a wooden baseball bat.
With a piece of wood nailed
Like a flat board.
Holy
Hey, that hazing stuff is not even.
I don't know why they cut that out. It's beyond me.
By the way, your hour after detention might not be just sitting in the library either. Just depending on what kind of mood Mr. Creek was in. It might be you grab a couple of weed eaters and go out there and weed eat around the baseball field or picked up rocks, or you might have to go do some work.
Mr. Holder at Eastside, if you got in trouble, you had to clean up the cafeteria.
There you go.
People are nasty. I'm just telling you, that's when I figured that out. But I was thinking the other day how much times have changed. Like down here at the old Madison Street School, we would go do, dust erasers. And you'd go down in the boiler room.
Right.
With a lot of moving parts and stuff. That's always and if you throw an eraser in there just right, that dude will spit it right back out. There's one of the things
You can still do that?
I promise you.
I'm still amazed that you went and got your teacher's dry cleaning.
It's absolutely the truth.
I'm still amazed that back then you could actually walk out of Southside, walk down the sidewalk to Argy Cooper Library during class, cross 4-lane traffic, take your whole class to CB Food Store, get a popsicle.
Right.
It was a great time to be alive.
Yes, sir.
And then after the game was over, after school, there was a wiffle ball or football game firing up somewhere at dark.
Well, you lived in a neighborhood right with a lot of kids.
And we played. I'm gonna bust old Jay Darren since he busted me. One night he decided we're gonna sneak up the south side. We're gonna roll up these mud balls, and we're gonna throw them at tractor trailers as they're coming.
Which is a great idea.
I mean, that's a great
idea.
Hey boys, he hit one, and he hit the trailer part of it, and that dude locked. She locked up 53 feet.
Yes,
locked
sir,
up right there. And son, you talking about running?
Run.
I mean, I was chubby because it's gonna be last. You ain't got to be first. You just can't be last. But that dude came after us. Now he didn't catch us, but that was the last mud ball we threw out there at.
See, that's learning experience.
It is. It is. It is.
That's good.
But man, these educators today, kids are different. They can't discipline like they used to.
No.
Let me just say,
Parents
I'm gonna
are
say,
different.
parents are
Parents are
crazy.
different.
Yeah.
Parents are crazy, and they're different. And now it's the teacher's fault instead of the child. And
Well, like I was talking to a kid the other day that goes to church with us, and it was like, well, I got to do test corrections. I said, what? Well, test corrections. I said, what are just so you know what you. So if you have at the end of the year exam, you know what's wrong. No, we can have credit for every. I said, so you can go from a 50 to a 75, just like that. And they said, yeah. And I said, well, how do you know which ones you missed? Oh, well, they give us a copy of our test with the correction. I said,
we
That's
had
better than Mr. Holder's, man.
we had a graduation coach too. It was in a drawer up there at Jimmy Crick's office. There was a
Graduation.
Like,
listen,
I mean, that's crazy to me.
Ralph told me, this is a true story. Ralph told me that he had a kid going into this room and he said, hey, y'all want to go somewhere that's quiet and take his test. And Ralph said, man, I knew good and well he took a picture of the test on his phone or somebody else. He said, but man, he was failing so bad. I just let him do it. He said, I knew what he was doing. And then That dude failed it.
Oh.
I said, Ralph, his
Sleep,
phone
Bob.
must have died, bud.
Oh my God.
Kids are different. Man, but I'm telling you,
But don't you think that comes from parents being different?
it does.
Because here's the deal: every kid born is born the exact same way,
Yeah.
and they
Well,
learn
no,
what
wait a
you
minute.
teach.
That's not true. Some people are born on the right side of the tracks.
Oh, well, he's talking about.
Well, Dave. Okay.
Oh, I'm talking about. Oh, you're talking about just regular.
I'm talking about.
There's a silver
I'm
spoon
talking
kid
about-
and a regular kid. You know what I'm saying?
But
It is
yeah, I think parents are the most because, I mean, if I'd have went home and said that I'm failing this class, it's the teacher's fault.
Oh. Man, you went to the parent-teachers conference. That was the worst night of your life.
Well, you've been in trouble.
Man, that parent, because my granny was gold.
See, I got bragged on. Our parent
Here
teacher
we go.
gone great. I had to hear
Hell,
that.
even asking me on this show.
Close this thing.
Listen, let me tell you this last thing. Bo's told this mess. We're out in the portable. Mr. Keith Williams now he was just an econ teacher then, and me and Bo,
Oh, econ.
the Bo and Dan show's going on, and we are wearing that guy out, and he's about had enough. And it's not disrespectful; it's just
Pick and
Fun.
judge.
just keeping on.
Yeah.
And he'll be boys hush, boys hush. So finally one day he had enough. So there was 2 bathrooms in there. They were not plumbed in. They were just 2 bathrooms. And he set Bo in one and me in the other, and he left the doors open where we could see him and he could see us,
You couldn't see.
but he couldn't see each other. It wasn't the paneling between us, so we're talking the whole time. And Bo would just die laughing. It echoed through that whole thing. Boys, one of the state Tennessee Board of Education folks walk in, and there's
Oh,
me.
you gotta like him.
Hey, you know what we do? He put us in here.
Yeah. You don't want to be here, eh? But let me ask you this. Is there anywhere besides community that would have 2 bathrooms not plumbed in?
No.
I don't even get that. I'm sorry, boy.
That was the old portable days. Unionville got pretty tight out there for a while when I was there.
Well,
But anyway, God bless the teachers today. They
hey,
put
you
up
got
these
that
kids.
right, boy.
Yeah,
They're not paid enough in Bedford County. I agree with that. And
you are
man,
going for re-election.
I am, but I'm for the teachers.
Buddy,
Man,
I'm
these
going
kids
to-
today.
And let me tell you something.
Could Aaron West coach half these kids today?
Not half of them, but I'll tell you this: there is a group of kids that still
Oh
have that respect and stuff. I think we just hear a lot more about the other side of that.
That's right.
Can you imagine teachers having to deal with y'all having cell phones?
See, I thank the Lord every day that I didn't have one of them. Because there's no pictures, there's none of that stuff out there.
Boy,
I mean,
that's
you
where
think
they got
about
to be so, man, I know.
boys, it's a different world
It
they're
is.
trying to teach you in. It's a different
Back
world the
then-
kids are trying to live in.
This-
We had it so simple.
We did.
We had, I mean,
I had
seriously,
to
we did have it simple.
apologize to some dads because back then, if you liked the girl and you called her, there wasn't no caller ID. So if Daddy answered, you just hung it back up. But
Try
you
and
had
get
to
like
sit
that
in
stuff.
the kitchen where Granny was cooking biscuits to talk to you. You know,
I
You didn't have
Luke,
that long cord.
hey, we had a cord that started out being about, I don't know, 2.5 foot. But by the time you stretched that dude, it reached 15 foot where that door was closed. So you
Right.
could have, but there was 4 of us, so you know,
you do know.
I was so shy, man. I didn't get on the phone much.
You did. Did you know you didn't have to dial 294? You could just dial the last 4 numbers.
Yes, sir, boy.
And they would ring.
Ring them up.
Really?
You could dial 5726.
But that's it. They ain't that many 294s down.
There wasn't 12 of us.
There wasn't
Total. We was all cousins. So we
Yeah.
don't see them at
There was
Christmas.
16 numbers. I mean, I could have been the operator down there, you know. But not anymore, boys. Not anymore.
It actually says the bus driver would put you on the side of the road.
Guarantee you they would.
Are you serious?
Jeez, hey, off my bus. Get
And just
good. Hey, my
Just
grandparents forgot me at the school one time.
Uh-oh.
Nobody rode to school. Nobody was drove to school and dropped off. Everybody rode the bus. But I had something after school, and I don't remember what, and he forgot. So I sat there forever. And then I reckon he realized it. No, Amy Martin came by and saw me and took me home, and I walked in. He said, "Where in the world have you been?" I said, "You supposed to come get me at 4." He said, "It's 6 o'clock. You could have walked home 10 times."
Yeah, what's wrong with you? You're trying to get out of work. That's what you're doing. No.
Granny Fenton Dan with Colin. That's true. That was Granny's ace in the
who's
hole.
done it?
Who's Don Edwards? That was
Don
our
Edwards.
sheriff back then.
Okay.
Granny.
How would I
That's
know
Philip
that? How would I
everything.
know?
Philip everything.
Let me tell you something.
Rap stuff.
We'll quit. These Dan Reed stories go. Granny found my spit bottle one time.
Oh, don't you bring that in my house.
Granny found a spit bottle. and I can honestly say I never saw marijuana. Never saw it till I was married and worked. I mean, I know what marijuana was, but Granny found this spit bottle and she swore I was soaking marijuana. That's what that was in that bottle. And
She must have been watching Dateline or something, man. 2020 or something.
hey, I'm
Did
trying.
y'all grow tobacco?
We grew it.
So it's
She swore. Listen to the point.
so you can grow it and sell it.
She's got this
Just can't
bottle.
use it.
She's got this bottle of spit, and she has tore all the pieces. And I cannot convince her that is red man spit that I stole out of your own son Curtis's truck. But never mind that. This is tobacco. Hey, and I was soaking marijuana. So she.
What does that even?
I don't know, and neither did Scott or anybody else. Now Scott thought he was a lot more humorous than me. So she decided we're gonna take it up there, Don Eversley, and test it. We're gonna find out what this. That's a true story. Finally, my granddaddy talked her out of it, and that's true. Old Don Edwards.
Don Edwards. He's gonna get in on it. Oh my goodness.
Hey, that's the parenting you had been. They'd have found marijuana in your room. They'd have called the law.
Yeah,
They'd have called the law.
They'll call the.
You didn't want. I guarantee you they would call it. You didn't want that.
Tell you where you're going.
Yeah.
Right now. Right now.
It's Don Edwards.
Oh, my Lord.
What was this thing?
Soaking marijuana. I don't even know what that means.
We had
Granny didn't either. I
we
promise.
had no idea.
Okay.
But it happened.
Mm-mm.
It happened.
Oh my God.
So this was where it was supposed to be a brag on our t-shirt show, and it is.
Oh yeah.
It is.
But
it's
see what
all-
they've done. See the job they did.
Man, look at us, ordained ministers.
What about that? Some of them probably say, What about that?
Well,
Oh,
it's
my
true. It's true. Miss Vicky Lamb, when I told her, I said, "Would you ever thought I was ordained and running for office?" And she just shook her head and looked at me like, "I ain't real sure. Just keep moving." But she was down there.
I would have paid more attention. I really would have paid more attention in school if I thought it was going to be as valuable.
I can tell you right now, what you said is absolute. I absolutely loved it. High school was the
Oh,
most
man,
fun
I'm
I ever
telling
had. I guess that's why I'm such a big fan now. What I thought of the place and what I thought of those teachers, and Mr. Crick, still a hero of mine, and man, he looks younger than me now. But
From sports to everything. I mean, it's just lunchroom stuff.
I love
and all
community school and always will, I guess. But these people said I hate it and I want out of here. They just didn't take the time to enjoy it like I did. I love it.
They'll think different when they get out in the real
Go
world.
get you about 13 a day at Cal
There you go. See how fun that is
You
for
start
you.
worried about that
We're
graduation.
now saying, hey, get these sponsors.
Sanders Plumbing, First Bank, and Little Eagles Nest Preschool. We definitely want to thank them as our sponsors. I had a good time tonight. We do want to thank all of our teachers, all the educators, administrators,
Absolutely.
and really anybody that works in the school in any capacity. And we definitely appreciate y'all. And we'll have a show Friday night.
What is it? So Dan Reed in 2022.
Yeah, right. Dan,
Yeah.
go
Vote.
vote.
Oh, we got to beat now.
Hey, go. We need to be going to vote for this election.
We do. Get
Are
out
we
and
going to
vote.
do an election show?
Are we
I
going to
think
do live?
we're going to do a live
yes.
election show.
You got somebody down in the state.
In the trenches?
Dana's headed there right now.
Hey,
She's headed there right
All
now.
right, we're doing
guarantee you.
live November 6th.
Ain't those politicians way up the ladder.
Oh, I got you.
I promise you.
Hey, and a
that,
special show coming. We can't even talk about it.
No.
How big a deal that is?
It's a big
Wow.
deal. that
How
we
big
ever
is
thought.
that deal coming?
We thought.
Am I
We
thought-
thought David was full of it.
Yeah.
brother.
I'll be
We
honest.
don't think he was
Oh,
going.
man.
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now.
I knew he was going to deliver.
People thought we were fading out, fading to black. We wasn't going to do much.
Oh, no.
You wait till this dude right here.
Yeah, that's right.
This show coming up.
Legends of Bedford County.
That's all we can say.
That's all.
That's all we
we
can say.
All right?
We can
And
say
it's
more,
not
but we're
me.
not.
It's not Dan
No,
Reed.
it's
That's
not.
episode 4 of the Legends of Bedford County.
That's Legends of Community.
There you
Yeah,
go. All right.
We'll see you guys Friday night.
I'm not going to be on that show. Which one?